Hello and welcome to the Scrutineer. Here we are live on SimNews.TV, all talking about the WTF1 GPVWC Superleague. I want to start off by saying a big shout out to the guys already in the chat. Hello to the Madcake guys, hello to Alex, not one of the Madcake guys now. Hello to Street Fighter guys, anybody else in the chat? Nice to see you already. Hopefully we have a nice good discussion in there as well, because there's quite a bit to talk about this time out. Before I do, a few little things. One, my birthday, so apologies that I've had a few and will be drinking throughout. So apologies for any profanity, anything like that, blah blah blah. Also, based on last time and the sort of way I work, yeah, the views are my own as a scrutineer, nothing to do with SimNews.TV, nothing to do with WTF1 and nothing to do with GPV either. So if I slate you, which I will do some people, if I praise you, it's all from me. Yeah, live with that. It doesn't go any further, it's just fun. You and us, viewers, me, we'll have a bit of a laugh. So, where's the badge? I know, but they don't really make one as, like, I'd have to get, like, it's I'm too old for that now, unfortunately. It's like, I can't keep wearing the 21 over and over and over again, can I? So, we've got an awful lot to crack through. We're still going to stick with the same normal routine. We're going to go through the car upgrades. Because if you're new to this and you haven't watched the Scrutineer before, and you don't know GPV or the Super League, where have you been? Do watch. There's so much going on. It's incredible. It's absolutely the closest team event you can get to real Formula One. There's car upgrades, engine choices, car choices, engine upgrades, engine manufacturers, loads of stuff, financials, driver contracts, and there's so much strategy going on to it. It's ridiculous before they even hit the track. So, and to be honest, we even get the discussions and the whole Formula One blow-ups and people go into the FIA and all that sort of stuff. It does happen. We have battles in chat rooms and things. It's all very much like Formula One. So whatever drama you like from Formula One, you will find it here at GPVWC's Super League, and you will find it right here covered by us on SimNews.TV live and at the Super League show, which we will also have coming up before the race, which you'll also find I'm on. I know you can't get enough of it. But in the meantime, then we've got Scrutineer Live, which goes through everything there is to know about the round coming up. So they're racing this Thursday in the Super League. And on that, we've got car upgrades and all the choices that they've chosen beforehand. All that gets locked in by Friday just gone. So that's why we're going to talk about it now, because you'll see it all happening on the cars going forward. And of course, we will also have at the very end the people that I think are going to do rather well and the people that I'm going to think are doomed to fail. So are you on that list? Keep watching. But we'll get there. And I'm glad, Alex, yes, you are in the chat, because I'm sure we'll have many battles going on throughout this. We always do. Great to hear. Nice bit of banter. So, should we crack on with cars? Because that's kind of the biggest thing that most people look at. If you remember, it takes 21 days to do a car upgrade, so that effectively means you can't really upgrade every round, so you're going to have to upgrade every other round. So we found this is the time. If you watched last time's episode, if you haven't watched any of them, make sure you can look back on the playlist and make sure you subscribe to our channel. You'll be able to catch them all there. And so this is what's going through. We'll go through championship order, and we're going to go through the car upgrades. So quite a lot of teams haven't brought an awful lot to this one, just because it was sort of off sync. So most people could upgrade for round 2, which meant they couldn't upgrade for round 3. So the fact we're on an odd round at round 7 means that we haven't got as many upgrades, but there is a few more upgrades than you might have planned. And even I've been taken a little bit aghast by some things. So I will try and I will explain through it all. I've had to take a few days to look it through and work it all out, but I will explain it all for you guys. So we shall go through and start with ACR. Hey, are leading the championship still. They haven't brought anything to this round though, but they had a reasonably decent car. So they had 59 weight and diffuser. That's all they've done so far, and that car stayed the same. That's the car that got the 1-2 in Canada. Same car that's here. Edge are second in the championship. They brought an upgrade to last. They haven't brought. They brought one here. They brought one last time, and they brought one here. So they've sort of gone with the alternative every time, which is a legitimate strategy. We, as Vodball last year, we used that, bringing one each round. It means you always have a decent car. You're never necessarily the best car out there, but you are within the top 4. So if you've got faith in your drivers, which Edge obviously do, then they're always going to be there or thereabouts, and the difference isn't never that much necessarily. So they added diffuser this time around. It's the first time they've done diffuser, so that's a new thing for them, but it does sort of sit on the basis that quite a lot of teams have done that, so they're sort of getting on the bandwagon really now. Epic sitting third in the championship, very well done for them as a new team. I will come back to this once I've gone through all the teams, because I know a lot of people have asking about this one, but Epic have brought weight and diffuser here of 26 and 21, so that brings them very highly up on the weight of 83 and diffuser of 57, so we'll come back to that one. Park that, we'll get there. Evolution, they're next up. Well done to them in 4th at the moment, and they haven't brought anything to this round. They've already done the weight, the diffuser and the rear wing downforce, but they haven't brought anything else here, so they've got the same car they had in Canada, which was a pretty unlucky round for them, I think, if I remember rightly. Hawkeye, they are sitting 5th in the championship. They've still got the front wing downforce, they've still got the weight and diffuser, brought nothing extra this time out. Did get their podium last time out, so the car is quite good. Nordstrom sitting there, having brought nothing to this event either, but having already done front wing weight, diffuser and rear wing downforce, so that makes sense there. Storm still sitting there in 7th as well. They have brought upgrades this time out, so they brought weight and diffuser this time round, so that's pretty legitimately a decent upgrade for them. So good work on that point. Flag to Flag haven't brought anything this time round. They're still doing weight and diffuser, so very much the ACR strategy there. One team that has moved up the standings though is Rfactor. They jumped ahead of Eval after Pedro Gomez's result in Canada. So they haven't brought anything extra this time out, but the car's pretty decent anyway. If you remember rightly, then we've got weight, diffuser and front wing downforce a little bit there. Eval having dropped that place, they were the ones that were off sync. If you remember from watching previous episodes, they are off sync, so they have brought their upgrades this time out. So they brought 18 in weight and 15 in diffuser. So this is their full upgrades though. It's not quite as big as some. I would imagine their chief designer, which is the member of staff that you bid on at the very start of the year back in January, they have different ratings for different areas. I imagine those areas are not their staff members' specialty area, should we say, so they won't necessarily go as quick as some people, but obviously it's the area they want to develop, that's fine, but just some lucky basically, or a bad choice at the start of the year, depending how you're looking at it. Missouri jumped a place as well, so after their decent result, which we'll come back to when we get to the highs and lows of last time, because we did predict that they do quite well, so they have moved up the standings. They haven't brought anything extra this time out, but the car's pretty decent anyway, with good diffuser, a little bit of weight and some front wing downforce as well. The team that dropped down though was Adonis, which has got all kinds of upgrades but in bits. So they've got body drag, they've got rear wing downforce, front wing downforce, weight and diffuser as well. And bring out the rear as per normal. We've got Street Fighter down here with the front wing downforce, body drag and rear wing downforce even. Nothing extra this time out. And then we have Mad Cape at the very back, who have still got their lovely front wing drag 8, the front wing downforce, but they have brought upgrades here. So they've brought weight and diffuser, which is becoming a favourite of everybody. So that's fair enough, isn't it? Hello to a few people that have joined us in the chat. Pedro Gomez I see there, and I see a couple of Epic guys. Hello everybody, and David Junt. Fair enough. So that's all our car upgrades. Right, so let's quickly go back to, well actually 2 teams, but most people just kept complaining about 1. So let's go back to Epic. So Epic have managed to do, on the face of it, they've got 2 upgrades, looks perfectly normal. If you remember our last show though, they also brought upgrades there. Particularly, now they only brought one small, they brought a front wing at 11, which was quite small. So granted, that's not a full upgrade for them. But that doesn't actually impact it. The one that really caught a lot of people out was the fact they did weight again. So they did a full upgrade of weight for last round in Canada, and they've also done a full upgrade of weight here. So the diffuser one, understandable because it was makes sense. The weight one though is where people are kicking off a little bit. And I did, first off, I saw it and went, what? You can't do it. But they can. And hats off to Epic here, because actually, there's very rarely I actually go, you know what, someone's done a better fucking job than me. And they have. Well done to them. New team as well, showing us all how it's done. Us experienced teams just assume certain things and just do it sort of by the book now. Epic did the research. Epic looked into it, and well done to them. So actually what they did, they've never, so a minimum term for an upgrade, I'm not going to get rather technical with you guys here, it's going to get a bit boring to settle in. So a minimum upgrade takes 21 days, regardless of what you do. So if you wanted to upgrade for 5 days, that's all you can afford to do, it still takes 21 days before it hits, that can possibly get on the car. Okay. Most of the time though, like with the end of the month and things like that, when the races are, it always has to be done by, including the Friday prior to the race. So last Friday just gone, everything had to be finished by midnight that Friday. If it wasn't, it doesn't end up on the car this time out. And we can't see it either, it's sort of frozen. So what gets available to everybody on the Saturday and put in the mod is what happened at midnight on Friday night. So most of the time though, that is 21 days-ish. But sometimes it's 22 or 23 and sometimes 24, particularly at the start of the season as well. We were talking at the very start when we didn't upgrade for round 1 because there wasn't enough time, so it was a bit longer. So most people did a rather long one. Now, Epic have been quite clever, and it's not been noticed for a couple of reasons. So they've only ever, from what I can work out, done 21 days. They've never done the 22, 23, 24. So it means they haven't ever actually had the best car because they're never upgrading quite as far as most people. Now, I don't know, just to put it as a perspective, I'd say as a rough guide, you talk, depending on exactly how it works, and it depends on your staff you've hired, the chief designer you've hired, and all this on the speed of it. But as a rough guide, every, say, 2 days is 1%-ish. Now, there's a whole different factor with that as well that I'll come on to, but roughly guide. So they're only losing 2 or 3% every time they were doing it, which isn't actually a lot. So no one really noticed that much because no one really looks into the staff in such detail exactly what's going on, because no one knows exactly what designers, apart from the chief designer, they don't know all the little ones, how they've hired them. So that's personal to the team. So everyone sort of assumes they're just doing a full upgrade, but it turns out they weren't quite. So they've done 21 days. So how did they get one for Canada and here? Well, actually, it meant that what they did, so the 26th of last month was the one which would have had to have been for Monaco. So if you remember Monaco a couple of rounds back. So you would have had to have had your developments done for the 26th. Now, to be put on that car for that round, so that was the Friday. What Epic did was actually it finished on the 27th. So it's 1 day too late for Monaco, right? So they don't get anything from Monaco, but that part is already done and free to redevelop again. So that part is ready to put on the car for the round after, which turns out to be Canada. So what they're developing then is 21 days from that point, the 27th, straight after before even the Monaco Grand Prix starts, but after the Monaco deadline. And that's 21 days exactly to the deadline for this race. So that's how they got one for Canada and one for here of this. Now they kept, the other part of it as well is what we are finding this year and what most teams will have found is that as you develop, it's a bit weird, different to every year I've seen so far. I've looked into it and asked the admins stuff, and they say nothing's changed, but it does look like it's working this way around. Where if you develop the same area for longer, not necessarily, not longer, if you've got a higher development rate, so if you had weight at 50%, we had so for example here with Epic, we've got diffuser at 57 now, and we've got front wing at 11. Assuming that the staff stats are the same and all that, which they may not be in Epic's case, but assuming they are, if you develop the same amount of days, you will get further on the diffuser than you will on the front wing, purely on the fact that it's further along. So it speeds up as you develop the same part more, which normally has slowed down. So actually in Epic's favour, that's worked out quite well, because it meant as they develop the same area, like weight, quite heavily, it means that actually even though they're doing less days, it doesn't look like they're doing less days compared to some people, because some people are doing it for the first time, or in some people's cases they've never even done weight. I'm looking at you, Street Fighter. Then everyone else, like you don't see the difference. It just looks like they've done a full development like everyone else. But it's only here where they've now actually thrown an extra upgrade on, as we get to the full upgrades in a minute. They're actually now ahead of everybody else. That make sense to everybody? Or have I just confused you all like mad there? But not only that, if you then throw that forwards, Epic then are still doing 21 days and would actually, in my reckoning, be able to get an upgrade in for Britain and for Germany, which is again one after the other. So it would put them ahead and upgrade again. That's when we hit the summer break after Germany, which is a good 4-week gap. So that's kind of where, if people are now clever, and Super League managers, I'm looking at you, because I'm going to have to look at this. If you're at that, you can't do a lot about it now because you've already submitted your upgrades for this next time. You're kind of going to be stuck because you're going to have to upgrade for Germany anyway. So realistically, it's only at that point you can do anything about it. So we've got that summer break to recalculate where you're going to upgrade. If you don't, you're going to end up about 3 or 4 upgrades behind Epic by the end of the season if they carry on doing what they're doing. Pretty damn clever. Again, hats off to you guys. Very, very well done. I'm having to relook at what I do, so good work. That's the team manager point of view though, so we'll see what goes on further on. So I've talked about Epic enough, I've given you guys enough praise there I think. Fantastic work. And if anyone knows me well, you don't get that very often. Right. I think that's a beer break, isn't it? So, let's go to engines. Nothing's changed, basically. One thing that won't work though, when I spoke about that with the cars, part of the fact that it can work with cars is that it's actually quite cheap to upgrade your cars this year, so the R&D points and the cash isn't actually costing that much to do, so people are going to be able to upgrade all the time. I think that's the whole point of it, is that people don't stop early. With engines, however, we're going to run out pretty soon, really. I'm pretty sure most of these guys have got an upgrade coming, which will be for next round in, where are we? Austria, that'll be. So yeah, they'll have an upgrade for Austria, and then they probably get one more for Germany, maybe just after the summer break if they want to give it a bit longer. But R&D point wise, that's pretty much it for engines. Most engine manufacturers will get a small one towards the end, somewhere around Abu Dhabi, something like that, normally. But that's pretty much going to be it for engines. So once we get to summer break, we can always go, this is going to be the engines that everyone's got. Okay, so if you're not liking the way your engine's already working, you're going to be kind of stuck with it for the year, really. But anyway, so nothing's changed. So we still got Martex and Quasar with the exact same engines, 41 power and 20 fuel efficiency. We've then got Talos, who've gone crazy on fuel efficiency with 39 against 23. And then we've got Valiant, who have got the 23 fuel and the 35 power. So they're sort of a middle ground. So you've got the two guys of Martex and Quasar, which is a very powerful engine. You've got Talos, which is a very fuel efficient engine. And you've got Valiant, which is a mixture of the two. Pretty simple way of looking at it. So that's if you've got a 100% engine though. Now I know it's some people's favourite things of, do we use 100% engines, do we not? I'm looking again at you, Mad Kate. So we shall look at what other ones done. So ACR, we saw a lot of 100% engines for Canada last time out, completely understandable. So the guys at ACR have chosen to stick with the same, stick with the same units. Most people are going to be on Unit 3 by this stage of the season. There's only one drive that's used onto a 4th unit, and a couple are only on 2, based on the fact that they've like DNF'd a few races quite early on. So Alex there, for example, had a couple of DNFs at the start of the year, so he's actually got Unit 1 still being used, whereas Risto's on Unit 3. Doesn't mean Alex hasn't only used one engine, he has used the other units, but just he's gone back to Unit 1. Edge, on the other hand, we've got Jarl with quite a low engine again at 41. He did do this back in, where was that? Just before Monaco. Where was that one? Spain, maybe? I want to say Spain. I think he did a low one. So that's, yeah. So he can do that. 41 is fine. It's just a bit lower on power, particularly to Peters, which has done one race. Epic, they've also brought engines that have done one race. So anything around the sort of high 60s, 70s, that sort of area is pretty much the same, really. But at this stage, you're not losing much at all compared to the other one. Did I get Spain right? Thanks, Bill. Evolution, they've also done the same, 62 and 68. Fair enough, it's done a race. Hawkeyes, they've done the same as well, 69 for them. Although, bear in mind, Adam Maguire, shown on here, I'm told won't be racing now, so don't know who's in that seat. I don't know if Hawkeye even knows who's in that seat yet. So I look forward to finding out who that's going to be. If they do, they've got a 69% engine regardless. It doesn't matter if it's Adam or it's that car has that engine. Norton, they've also done the same, so they've had a race on their Unit 3, so they've got 69 and 68 for them. Storm, Storm have one of these. Liam's got a 69% engine, so that shouldn't blow up Liam. Not on Monaco this time out, well done. And Mano's got a brand new unit. That's because he's only starting using Unit 3 because he has got a pretty poor finishing record, unfortunately, in that car. Flag to flag. Now these are pretty much the ones you need to watch out. One here, you'll note, Peter is in for in place as a reserve effectively this time out, or an emergency. I don't know what he's contracted to exactly, but he's going to be sitting in that car. So he's got a 47% engine that he's got to go with, which isn't fantastic, but it's not. It's it's better than Jarl's had, for example, and they have basically the same engine, although it's Quasar and Martex. It's the exact same specs, and then Mark has a 32%. So again, one potentially to watch. Should be fine as long as he's not stupid with his engine settings, but you could say that about any of the percentages if you don't do that right. We've got Red Archer, they've also done one race on both of theirs, at 68 on both cars. Eval's a bit, they've got both their drivers back, so they had reserve guys in last time, so they got Reichelt and Argo Teder in the car again, and they've got 70% engine for Unit 3 there, and Argo's decided to go with 100% engine with his Unit 4. So he's the first one, I think, to use 4 units now. Or will be at the end of this race. There is an element, of course, if you start, you can't buy 2. You have 6 units to use throughout the whole year. You can buy 7 and 8 if you want to. They're £1 million each in the back of the grid each time you do it. So it's a bit, do you want to not? Some teams at the top probably will at some stage, just to get the 100% engine, but you're not allowed to buy them until you've used the 6 that you already have at least once. That's a new rule this year. In fact, partly through the year, but it's a new rule this year. And it does mean that some people legitimately might decide to actually use the first 6 engines quite quickly, or quicker than they want to, so that they get 2 fresh engines to use whenever the hell they want later on. It's a strategy people might try and use. We've not seen it before, because it's not been a rule before. Oh, sorry, I didn't really spoke about show it there, did I? Apologies. 69 and 66, they've both done a race. Simple. Adonis. Adonis, we've got, apparently Kazdorp's going to be back. Had some issues during the server or something last time out, so hopefully he's back. But it doesn't mean he saved an engine, he didn't do anything in the race. So he's got 100% Unit 3, which is what he would have used last time out. Sorry guys, beer time, one sec. No one's wished me a happy birthday in the chat. What's going on, people? Get with the bloody programme. And then Ethan on 70%. Come on. Street Fighter. They may not necessarily be able to finish races, but they pick their engines right, so they've got 70% there as well. Nice. And that's nice. Let's just give you a little ban, I'm afraid. Fine. Sorry about that, everybody. We shall get back to that. And then Mad Cape. Oh, Mad Cape even, yes. They've got a 63% engine, and they've got an 83% engine to bias, because didn't, well, less said about the finishing record, the better. Yeah, alright, Alex, I know. It's not all about you, Alex, come on. Anyway, that's Mad Cape's engines, basically. So... have I got anything but beer? Shots, wow. It's Monday, guys, come on. Like, I know it's my birthday, but Monday? Maybe not. Although to be fair, some upgrades, so yeah, wouldn't mind a shot every now and again. So, let's have a look at tyres. So the guys get to choose tyres as well. Yeah, they get to pick 3 options, and they have to use at least 2. If you don't know that by now, where the hell have you been? So, we've got... top half of the grid here, quite a lot. There's 2 sort of sides to this really. You've got everybody using the Ultra Soft again, basically qualifying tyre. You've then got a few people doing the Super Softs, quite a lot doing the Softs, and quite a lot doing the Mediums when you look at it. We'll delve into this in a second. The bottom half of the grid, flag to flag, the only ones not to have the Ultra Soft tyre. Don't know if they're expecting a lot of back of the grid penalties maybe, or just don't like that tyre. There isn't a huge amount of difference between the Ultra Soft and the Super Soft tyre from a longevity and speed point of view, but when you're talking qualifying, it's been quite close qualifying, so that does make a difference. So, but maybe not. And yeah, of that, most people got the mediums except for Red Archer there. So we should delve into this now. Let's bring them all up as a group. Ooh, I've got to go over here. So, a few guys have gone with the 3 softest options. So you've got the Ultra Soft, Super Soft, and the soft tyres, and that's Edge, Epic, and Red Archer. So that's 2 of your top guys there in Edge and Epic. You've then got the Ultra Soft, Super Soft, and the mediums. They're not going with the softs, they're going with the mediums instead. There's quite a lot of the guys. So you've got Hawkeye, Storm, Adonis, Mad Cape, and Missouric. Interestingly, a few of those guys I know are sort of working together a little bit, so it makes sense for them to all pick the same sort of tyres. You've then got the Ultra Soft, the softs, and the mediums, and that goes to ACR, Evolution, Norton, Eval, and Street Fighter. Again, you can say some of those working together, so that makes sense that they've all sort of picked that sort of tyre. And flag to flag becoming their own little choice quite regularly now. I'm saying, well, they've gone off kilter, so they haven't got the Ultra Soft. They've gone with the Super Soft, the softs, and the mediums. I think that's the first time I've ever actually seen that being picked. You know, tell me if I'm wrong, anybody, but from what I remember, that's probably the first time I've seen that working that way. But we know from places that, you know, they had a very good result in Monaco by using harder tyres than other people, so maybe they've sort of decided that's the good way to work it. Maybe, don't know. So that's tyres, guys. So should we have a look at pit stops? Pit stop development times. Red Archer still leading the way quite heavily, really, particularly when you compare that to flag to flag. So if they were in a battle, they've got effectively a whole second jump on flag to flag every time they pit, which is, you know, quite impressive if you're doing a 3-stop strategy or something like that. A couple of guys have moved up, so a few of those guys, but you know, it's very minuscule when you're talking around 4.2, 4.3, that sort of area. It's quite interesting though that people are still choosing to develop it. Should we look at total development? We were spoken about a bit. Now this is the one that everyone's going to sort of go, whoa. So yeah, flag Epic miles ahead. because of that extra upgrade effectively. So we expected the others, so ignore Epic for a minute, but we expected sort of ACR to be up there again. They had the car last time. Edge brought that one upgrade which pushes them back into the top few again. Makes sense, they're just behind its ACR, but they'll sort of be there or thereabouts. Red Archer had that good car anyway. I'll come on to Mad Cape. Mad Cape flew up the standards there, so they've actually got a pretty good car this time out. Now Mad Cape also went under the radar and also brought 2 upgrades. They brought upgrades last time and this time as well. Well done, Mad Cape. I don't know whether you've copied the Epic ring. I haven't looked into the exact detail of your things and asked around. You must have done something vaguely similar. Whether you're asking that sort of thing, I'm not sure. Maybe it was the Alex Skinner effect. Who knows? We'll soon find out, because apparently you've left now. So yeah, we'll see if they just drop back and start doing front wing drag, as they normally do. So very well done to Mad Cape. You've got a decent car this time out. Just come with pressure. Unlike Flag to Flag, which have a shit car, to be honest, at the back there. But it's not necessarily on that. It's on that's the amounts in total. It's where you put those amounts. So arguably, as ACR, we've decided to do weight and diffuser, which Flag to Flag have also done, but say for example Red Bull haven't. So even though Flag to Flag are lower than Red Bull, I would count them as having a better car. Could be wrong. It depends very much on your setup and everything else you do, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's very rare I say well done to Mad Cape. So far, well done. But that's great. You know, you look at the gap there that Epic have. Everyone else, you're talking even from Flag to Flag all the way up to ACR, you know, isn't the same gap as Epic had to the rest of the grid. It's quite a gap. So this is the part everyone loves or hates, depending if you're on the list. We're going to go with the rise to the top, doomed to fails. Anyone want to predict? Unhinged, Matthew Allington. Am I really? Wow. This is just me. You obviously don't know me well. Speak to any of my guys, or speak to Will. Speak to Will. He'd know I'm unhinged. We've kind of spoken about it anyway, and I've sort of praised them already. And I think it'd be no surprise to anybody that my top team, Rise to the Top's got to be Epic. They got the best car by a country mile. We're roughly talking probably about 0.15 or 0.2 of a second above any other car on the grid per lap in speed. So basically, right, pressure's on, guys. Epic, management-wise, fantastic. You've done an incredible job, really well done. Epic drivers, if you don't get a 1-2 here, it's on you or your strategy. But basically, interestingly, you've got slightly different tyres to some others. Yeah, basically, brilliant job management-wise. You've shown you can win a race when it was even cars, first round. Very well done, Fournier. Can you do it here? If not, legitimately, I'd look at it and go, right, this is your chance to take on everybody else for the title this year now. You're a new team, you won the first race, everyone went fantastic, you've still been there or thereabouts, you're still third, you're doing very well, you've now got the best car on the grid by a mile. Do something with it. If you don't get pole, if you're not winning this race, are you a legitimate championship challenger to anybody else? Or are you just going to be a good first season? This is the time. It is also the home Grand Prix for Fournier. It's also a Grand Prix in France where we haven't raced in a while, so new teams haven't got a disadvantage to other guys that have been around for a while and maybe driven that track every year for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm watching you, Epic. I think you can do it. That's why I put you as my Rise to the Top team. But the pressure is on. All right, don't prove me wrong. Last time out, I had Zurich. I said they get a double points finish. They got 1 points finish and one who finished 1 place outside. Damn you, so close. But they did jump up the standings. I still count that as a win. They did much better showing than they had been doing. Also to note, my 2 that I put as doomed to fail did kind of fail. I won't go into it too much. You know what you did. Then we shall go into... Oh, no, let's keep them up, actually. So the bottom, guys. Pretty much, guys. Yeah, everybody in there. So much I disagree with. Yeah, you can get the excuses in now, mate. I'd love that car. You've done very well. You've done much better. I would absolutely love that car. Yeah, 2 tenths between your car and ACR is a country mile in Formula 1. If you went to Ferrari and said I can get your car 2 tenths ahead of Mercedes, they would bite your hand off and pay you everything under the sun. So let's see where we get to. Bottom teams, these are always the fun ones. I'm still picking two teams that I think are going to fail. Now, a little bit controversial on some. By the way, on the rise to the top, the other one that I nearly put in was Madcape. The car is actually pretty damn good. It's up there with some other guys. There's no reason why that car shouldn't score points either. Now, I say there's no reason why. From a purely car perspective, there's no reason why. From what I can tell, it seems to be that the team itself, Madcape, seems to be going through an awful lot of changes. From a management perspective, not just in this league, but elsewhere as well. Is that going to affect the thing? Is that going to affect the result? Is that going to affect the prep? Is that going to affect the driver lineup even? I'd hope so, because actually the drivers haven't really been performing yet, but this is your time to go. Before it was, yeah, the car was poor, I've not done very well. Now the car's not poor, you've got to get points, Madgate. Again, pressure was on Epic, pressure's on you as well. I haven't put you quite out there because I'm not going to really put the pressure on you. But yeah, you do kind of need to score points here. Bottom team though, team that I think is really going to struggle, Adonis. Now they have been struggling anyway, and actually if they get two cars to the grid, that would be a good start, wouldn't it, guys? You've got double the chances there. Come on now, you're the only team not to have fielded two cars. I know it may have been unlucky in that you couldn't connect and all that sort of thing. That does happen to the best of us, but get somebody in that car. Great, Mark. I want to see you perform. Well done. Get in that car, get practicing, get into the points. But yeah, Adonis, the car's not great. Like, the development is all over the place. They've sort of picked a bit of everywhere and nothing's particularly great. Which means they're not really suited to any particular track. You know, the drivers are good though, so there is scope for them to do well, but I just don't think they're going to get there. You know, and like they've got the, even engine-wise, is it going to be where they want to be? I don't know. It's hard to say because there's not as many reasons to say Adonis will fail this time out. I just got a hunch. The car's not great. The team doesn't seem to be working quite as well as it used to a couple of years ago. Just my hunch. We'll see. The other one, which to be honest, now there was a few other teams I could put in here, and I kind of think, right, I'll put a Rise to Top in, a guy that I think is going to be really good. I'm going to put in a Doomed to Fail, and then I'm also going to put in a team which is kind of like, well, are they doomed to fail, or am I just, to be honest, I'm just trolling. Here you are, Street Fighter. So yeah, you're having a shocking season. I think it's going to continue. Prove me wrong. Yes, Flo, you did very well. You qualified 5th or 6th, I think. And yeah, that's great, but it was half a qualifying session. It rained. Could other people have beaten you? Were you just lucky on track? Maybe you weren't. Maybe you had the genuine pace, and you did get some points. But you were driving for Red Bull to just get a couple of points, even though it was a good recovery drive. Yeah, not really up there. And Ben, I know you're in the chat. I don't know. You need to, like, I don't know, summon somebody, summon a racing driver, learn something, finish a race. How about that? We'll start with that. Let's finish a race and see if we can get any points. Kind of works. But ultimately, they've still not upgraded that car from last time, so I didn't think the car was up to it either, and they still haven't done any weight upgrades. So it's very much on the wings, and it's very much different to what other teams have done. So it could work if they've done their setup right. So far, proof's always in the pudding. Everyone can come on and say after a race, well, I had the pace, I really could have won, I could have done this, I could have got pole, I could have that, coulda. Bloody show me. Do it. That's how you get hired. That's how you get paid mega bucks. That's what Red Bull will care about, presumably. I don't know. But if I was them, that'd be what I'd be doing. Anyway. And yeah, I'm putting the pressure on you guys a little bit, because you have got, like, relegation potentially looming if you're not ahead of Madcape quite heavily in the standings. So get bloody moving. While they're in a shambles, you should be taking advantage, but they seem to be getting their act together, so be careful. Anyone disagree with that? I'm liking, yeah, Franchik, yes, I know you're in the chat, I know. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are doing, I'm sure all these guys in Adonis and Red Bull are probably doing a very hard job behind the scenes. Everybody does really well. You know, it is a really difficult job, and people are probably putting in thousands of hours and doing lap upon lap upon lap upon lap. But you can put as many laps in as you want. If you're not doing the right laps or the right testing or the right, you know, car that you're testing or strategy, the field this year is so unbelievably close. Last year, you could have got away with a few bad races. You could have got away with particularly the odd strategy call that was a problem, that sort of thing. This year, you can't. I had that problem in race 1 where we had a strategy call, and that turned out to be wrong. We lost out. You know, ultimately though, you need to have one or the other. If I was seeing qualifying pace, I'd understand it. Bad luck in the races, but and you can always say bad luck in the races. We're crashing out. We're hitting people. We get loads of people causing us problems. That's because you're down the back of the field. That's because you've got back of the grids. That's because you're cutting in qualifying. It all rolls back. So if you don't cut in qualifying, you don't end up at the back. You've got a chance to qualify near the front. You get round the drivers that kind of know a bit better what they're doing, or there's less drivers around anyway, and we don't end up with the accidents like we had. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure guys are doing great in the official tests, and you know, ultimately, Street Fighter is only the 2nd year, and we do discuss you guys quite heavily in the Super League show, so that leads me on quite nicely, which will be coming out very, very soon. So shall I lose these graphics because they're all covering up the beautiful face? No, maybe not. On the meantime, that's kind of what I think is going to happen. We've got a lovely race on Thursday. Make sure you're watching. We've got it on WTF1 Facebook. We've got it on GPVWC's YouTube. We've also got it on SimNews Twitch. Basically, it goes everywhere. You can't miss the thing. It's also a rerun after that. Yeah, I'm loving all the chat, by the way, guys. By the way, 34 people. Very impressed. Thank you very much, everybody. That's getting there. Sorry, just quickly a little mad kick. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Drivers, you know, ultimately, everyone's sort of saying here, sorry, anyone who's not watching that hasn't seen the chat, everyone's sort of saying here, Mad Cape, being able to try and find drivers and problems like that. Well, they're getting 2 cars to the grid every time. Adonis haven't managed that, so bare minimum, isn't it? SOS PR stunt to get more coverage on the Scrutineer. I wish that was. Red Bull, if you've got the cash and you want to give us some money, I will devote the whole show to slamming SOS if you want. Perfectly fine. That's legitimately not a problem. If they get a good result, I will praise them as well, though. Yet to happen, which is why we're now on race 7. So race 7, though, really is ramping up now. We're sort of heading towards the summer break. The summer break can be seen just a beyond. So we've only got, from the Scrutineer point of view, we've only got a couple of upgrades before then. We have got quite a lot of upgrades coming out for Austria, you'd imagine, for most teams. Also, will everybody be doing now, rewriting their plans and looking at Epic, and Rob Mason's inbox might be very full after this potentially, so I apologise for that, mate. But so many people are doing it very well, and I really want to give a hats off to them. You can catch all the action. You make sure if you miss anything, you can always watch that back on here. The Super League show is back before the. In fact, it's been recorded, but it is now being edited as we speak. So hopefully we'll be out in the next couple of days before the race. We should be out with that, so you can catch up on everything that happened in the Canadian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, I had to sit in for Jake for that one. So sorry, no Jake, but you have got me. Do a little bit. I'm probably a bit harsher than Jake in some respects. Sorry about that. But if you like this kind of show, you might like that one particularly. You can catch up on all the old episodes also on our channel here. But the actual race itself, next Thursday, race starts at 8 o'clock. Make sure, British Summer Time in that case, so make sure you are watching that. If you do miss that, we also do the, you can watch it back, or you can watch Super League show, and you can catch us. I'm back again the Monday before Austria, so it's in 2 weeks' time. Get it on your calendars. Make sure you get this shared about. Be nice to sort of see everybody, see what's going on, get promotion for GPVWC. It's an incredible series. I can't even fathom to you how much I love this series, really. I know we've got an awful lot of teams elsewhere, but the WTF1 GPVWC Super League, absolutely incredible. Check it out, get involved. We're also looking in part of the academy. You can get involved and get driving in the lower series as well, which we also cover here on SimNews.TV. So remember, that's on tomorrow and Wednesday. A guest star as ex-Mad Cape management. You have Alex. You seem to have had the shortest tenure as a management in Super League I have ever seen. So maybe not. I don't know what you learnt in your few weeks, but you must have done quite something. We'll find out come the race day, I suppose. But in the meantime, thank you much everybody for watching. I very much appreciate all your chat in there. If anyone wants to grab me afterwards and want to have a chat as well, I'll probably jump in the Discord in a minute. Otherwise, thank you very much, and make sure you catch everything. Subscribe to SimNews.TV and GPVWC, and I shall see you all very soon. Thank you.